daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
All right, let's get back into it. Oh, the Marine Corps leadership traits. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm certainly enjoying being able to offer you this information. As I said, I learned this. This was something that was taught to me. Oh, man, as I look at a calendar, like 30 plus years ago now, at least 30 years ago, I was a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps, and I was learning the leadership traits. As a matter of fact, I took an M.C.I, a Marine Corps Institute a Marine Corps Institute module on leadership. All right, so where have we been? We went to JJ and then did. Now we're at the tie buckle part, and I know it doesn't make any sense, but stick with me. And if you are a boss, if you are a business owner, if you are a leader and you want to help other people be leaders, I hope you are using this to your advantage. The T is tact. Ooh. Tact means that you can deal with people in a manner that will maintain good relations and avoid problems. It means that you are polite, calm, and firm. This one right here, tact, the ability to have tact. Have you guys ever heard the phrase, and I'm sure most of you have, unless you're a young crumb cruncher and maybe you're in school, but telling someone to go to hell and having them look forward to the trip, that is tact. And many people confuse tact when it says, now, in the description, it says it means that you are polite, calm, but then it says and firm. Many people confuse tact by thinking it means that you have to be meek, that you have to be subservient, that you have to, I guess you would say, be a very quiet person. Tact doesn't necessarily mean that you are a quiet, meek, subservient person. It actually means that you are relaying the information that needs to be relayed. You're dealing with a situation that needs to be dealt with without necessarily making the other person angry. And when it comes to being a leader, this is an extremely valuable trait. And why is that? Well, because especially, and human beings have always been this way, but especially in our modern era where everyone's all wrapped up in their feelings, right? Well, I know I was wrong, but the way he pointed out me being wrong, it made me feel bad. It hurt my feelings. Okay. Tact means you can tell someone that they're wrong, or they have an area for improvement, or they need to improve. They need to do something better on time, what have you, without getting them all bunched up and making them feel like an idiot. I'll give you a good example. There is there's this thing called a compliment sandwich. You know what a compliment sandwich is? A compliment sandwich is what many coaches use. My starting strength coach uses the compliment sandwich. And a compliment sandwich is this, something like, you're doing really well. I appreciate all the effort that you're putting in. You need to focus harder on your squat technique and get deeper in it. But keep going, because I'm proud of where you are now and where you've come from. So you give them a compliment, you give them a critique, and then you give them a compliment again. Ergo, the compliment sandwich. And when you do that, people will come out on the other end realizing that they need to improve something, or they need to modify their behavior, or they need to modify the way that they're working or performing. but they don't feel like a complete and total idiot. Now, what does the Marine Corps say is a good way to help improve your tact? Begin to develop your tact by trying to be courteous and cheerful at all times. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Well, isn't that the golden rule? I mean, that's the golden rule that we were all taught when we were in Sunday school, right? I know I was. Treat others like you would like to be treated yourself. Super simple. But tact is very difficult, especially when you become frustrated. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you had with children or people that work for you or people that you're coaching or people that you're trying to teach, students, what have you, and you explain something and you think that you have done a really good job explaining that thing. You think you've done a good job communicating your desires to whoever it happens to be, your children, students, workers, what have you. Then you turn around, leave, come back, and find out that they didn't do that at all. They completely missed the point. They're not doing what you said needed to be done. They're not following your instructions. And so it's very easy to become, frustrated and to let that frustration show. Now, I know that my beloved spouse is going to listen to this episode at least at one point in time. And she's going to come to me probably and say, you're talking about tact. How should you? Yeah, I know I need to work on my tact. Hence the reason that I'm doing these. And, from a completely and totally selfish standpoint, when I do the leadership traits, when I re-examine them myself, it gives me the opportunity to focus on my own leadership traits and to realize where my shortcomings may happen to be. Now, you might be fantastic. You may be one of those coaches. You may be one of those coaches that has your compliment sandwich down pat. And you can tell people to go to hell and have them looking forward to the trip. And if that is you, congratulations. But I know a lot of folks out there need to work on their tact. How do you get people to make corrections and take self-improvement, do things the way, they need to be done as a leader without making them frustrated or making them feel angry at you or ashamed or whatever emotion they happen to be using at the time or attaching themselves to. So tact. Deal with people in a manner that maintains good relations and avoids problems. Be polite, be calm, but also be firm. And this kind of goes back to our decisiveness, or during the previous episode. Decisiveness not only means saying and doing what you mean and being direct about it, but also being firm. This is what we're going to do. And this is why. And I'll tell you why, but I'm not kidding. I'm not Charlie Brown. We're not being wishy-washy here. And just because I was polite and just because I was calm about it doesn't mean that I wasn't serious. So when you exercise tact, you're polite, you're calm, but everyone should know that you're very serious about it. So there you go. Develop tact by trying to be courteous and cheerful at all times or whenever possible. Treat others as though you would like to be treated yourself. All right, folks, that brings us right to the end of today's episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate everybody who's out there paying attention, listening, and getting the most out of these Morning Mindset episodes. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.